Coach. I know you talked about DeJounte's return yesterday after practice. Have you come to a conclusion on how many minutes he's going to play tonight?
We do have that number. I'll keep it internal, but I think we'll all have a sense after, have a range. We're all on the same page with it. We just got to see how it looks out. Once we get out there, we don't know. He'll be winded. Will he? I'm sure he will. I hope he is.
Yeah,
I hope he is.
That was kind of my next thing. Are you just going to play it out as it unfolds in front of you, or is there going to be a set?
We have an idea. Like, I'm not going to try to be too tricky here. We do have an idea what we're looking for, but obviously within a game, we just got to. It's the first time he's going to be out there, so we got to be very aware and conscious of making some adjustments along the way.
I know you've been liking to talk defense a lot. What is the challenge to try to defend what Golden State wants to do offensively, no matter who is on the floor for them?
Well, they're as complicated as they come in the NBA. And obviously Curry makes it more complicated when he's out there. But these guys cut off ball. Their off ball movement, the off ball screening is a little bit different than most teams in the NBA. So they play through the post to be passing teams. So it's a different type of split action, off ball action that you got to be aware of. And this group's shooting a ton of threes, so they keep you spread out right now. They got a number of guys that are willing and able to take multiple threes. Their bigs stretch you out. That's going to be a challenge for us tonight. So we got to be ready for that. A little bit different of a team versus what we just saw the other night. But the mentality is still the same. Communication is the biggest thing, and then physicality overall. That gets us home tonight. That gets us home in general.
When you have a player like DeJounte who hadn't played in a while, do you have to have a certain message for him, or you just let him go out and be himself? I mean, do you have to say, you don't have to be a hero tonight, or you just let him kind of be DeJounte?
We've had multiple conversations. I don't want to overdo it for tonight. I think he's excited in the moment, and I just want him to go out there and enjoy it and compete. That's the biggest thing. Go out and compete more than anything. He's a great competitor. He's worked his tail off to get back, and I just want him to go out there and enjoy it. But you do that by competing. I think that's when these players come to life. Is they're in these moments because they're great competitors, and that's what I'm looking for tonight. Enjoy it. Go compete. He and I will communicate throughout the game on minutes, how he's feeling, and all that. But fresh mind, go compete and have some fun.
How unique is it, not just with a guy coming back after being that long out, but with his particular style of play where he wants to be the guy running the show as the point guard, where getting him back, up to speed, but also allowing him to run the offense the way he wants to?
Well, yeah, obviously this is the first time that we've all been together, so we're going to experience this together for the first time. He's obviously a natural point guard. He understands what the team needs, and he's going to make decisions out there. I'll try to help him as well, but he's playing with a number of these guys for the first time. We've had a couple practices, but nothing like a real game. So I'm going to trust him. He's got to go make calls. I'm going to let him make some calls, keep us in flow, keep us in action. When they need a little bit of help, I'll be there to support them, and we'll figure it out together. It's going to be a work in progress, both of us. Yeah.
Coach, when you've been around the league a long time and you look at a guy like Draymond Green, what do you appreciate about what he does on the defensive end?
There's very few guys that have impacted the defensive end like Draymond Green in general. In my 23 years in the NBA, his ability to communicate, put out fires, his communication is second to none, and he quarterbacks that entire defense. He's as close to Lawrence Taylor as I think we've seen in the NBA. Is that a name for you? Huh? Lawrence Taylor. I mean, that guy from that outside linebacker position, Mike Singletary, I think I'd put those two guys. That's what Draymond has done for their defense. And, Steve Kerr has said this, and multiple, without him, there are no championships. And he brings a different edge, his ability to communicate and talk, his physicality, and then the way he covers for his teammates. We have a guy like that too. I think Herb Jones has this ability, this innate ability. I don't even know if you can teach it. I don't know where Draymond got this from, and I don't know where Herb got this from. You know, it's probably a combination of growing up, how they grew up, different sports. Maybe they had a coach along the way. Maybe it's a little bit of just being cerebral, where they can see fires before they even start and go put them out. And his ability to cover for Steph and Clay and, you know, everything happening in actions is you know, it's hard to find those type of guys. I've been around a couple great defenders in Bruce Bowen, Kawhi Leonard. Individually, one-on-one, amazing. Draymond, to me, is different in that he's more cerebral off the ball, that he's doing this quarterbacking off the ball and changing stuff on the fly. He's like, what do you call it, audible, you know, football. He's making audibles on the fly in the heat of battle. Most guys can't do that. Herb Jones is probably the closest thing I've seen, and where he can go take a defense and just kind of make it his own and turn him loose. So he's really special player.
The question I was going to ask you, I'm calling an audible.
Okay.
I was with James Harden the other day, and we talked about his comments years ago about the system, and I asked him to kind of clarify it. And he talked about being a quarterback on his specific team, making it relevant to you. Mm-hmm. Can you do any more NFL comps on your roster? Because I find your Lawrence Taylor analogy fascinating.
For our group, is there another NFL comp?
Guys that are on your roster that come to mind easily.
Yeah, I think Herb's the one that I would say, you know, from a defensive standpoint, is that type of that cerebral defender, you know, the middle linebacker, the Brian Urlacher, you know, those type of guys that instinctively can make plays. They have feel on what's about to happen, and they go do it. You know, I think DeAndre Jordan, you know, he's been interesting, and I'm not sure where you would put him in there, but his ability to protect the rim, he'd be like the nose tackle or the guy right in the middle of the floor, like, you know, he at the line of scrimmage, he's going to own the line of scrimmage. You know, he's going to own the line of scrimmage, and you know, I think to me that's how, you know, the protection of the paint, to me, to put it in football terms, is really own the line of scrimmage. You're going to win the running game, those you know, small margins. The running game to me is really important there. So, you know, I don't know. And then Zion, you know, I'll probably find one for Zion too. You know, I probably don't have one for you off the top of my head, but just his ability to make spontaneous, athletic, powerful plays, you know, at any time. So I'll try to find a name for you there, but I think I can find you something, you know, a football term for Zion. He belongs on the football field too. I mean, he could go do that, you know, really on the defensive end or the offensive end. So hopefully that helps.
As a follow-up, DeJounte's return. You've been around basketball a long time. You said 23 years and around the NBA. You won 2 championships. Does this return today remind you of anything you've seen in your tenure in the NBA, like its magnitude, its impact on this team, anything you've seen in the past?
Wow, I mean, for me, for the teams, I'm trying to think for the teams that I've been around, I'm not sure, you know, I've experienced anything like this. Tony Parker had a return, you know, that was significant, you know. He had a tendon he blew out. But I think more than anything, just, you know, for our team to embrace DeJounte, his return, the spirit he brings. He went through so much last year. You know, I think he was joining our organization. We went and got him, and, you know, what we thought was going to be a healthy, incredible season last year really turned after the first game. It really started game 1. You know, he breaks his hand, and it feels like the snowball started there for his season, on the floor and off the floor. And I think to his credit, he has put that behind him. He's been through the battles of those. He's got the scars and is still fighting through that. And I think now he's just ready to embrace this team, this city, and this role. And, you know, I'm excited for him. I'm proud of him. And more than anything, just to have him back out there on the floor for our team and our city is inspiring. and looking forward to the return. Thank you. Good. Thanks, everybody.